Hello everyone, Tina here. I hope your day is going wonderful. Thank you so much for joining me. Today I am super excited to share a project with you. We're going to be creating a Christmas card. I'm getting really good at Christmas card making lately, and I think I am pretty well stocked for the holidays, which is the shockarooey. We're going to be using a brand new item from the Spellbinder shop. This item is from Simon Hurley. Spellbinders and Simon Hurley got together and they created a collection called Joyful Christmas, and this is one of the items in the collection. This is fabulous, and I'm going to call this one of those staple dies because you can do so much with it. This is a two-piece candy stripes die set. This is what the back looks like. It's a A2 cover plate size. And I thought we would create a fun plaid background. If you die cut it once, you get these stripes. Die cut it twice and then flip the panel around, you can create a fun plaid. And I love plaids with Christmas. I use plaids mostly during Christmas and also during Father's Day. So I loved that this is such a versatile die. So let's take a look at this. I mentioned it's an A2 panel, so it's 4 1/4 by 5 1/2 inches. Now this is a two-piece set, so it has the A2 outline, which I don't need because my panels are already A2 in size. And then you have the stripes here. When you line this up on cardstock, I have two pieces of Spellbinders Color Essential cardstocks. When you line this up, you want to make sure it's kind of centered when you die cut it. And you run this through the die cut machine and you create a perfect sized A2 panel. I have Glacier cardstock. This is Barely Peach. So 2 of Spellbinders Color Essential cardstocks. I'm going to go ahead and run these through the die cut machine to show you how pretty and how versatile it is. Let me run this through. Okay, I ran this through my die cut machine, and you can see how fun these stripes are. These are kind of pale colors, but I wanted a real soft Christmas card today. Let me get a piece of cardstock. You can see it creates. If you use an A2 panel, it just creates a perfect card front. If you're not good at creating A2 panels, you can use the outline die here and just layer them together. What I love about, now I kept these, this is all my little scraps because these are handy. Now I kept the stripes because there's few things you can do with these little extra pieces. If you wanted to die cut out 2, I did the Glacier and the Barely Peach. And if you wanted to do inlaying with the reverse pieces, you could do that to create a really pretty background. You can inlay these like so. That's one option. Another option would be, I like creating borders with pattern paper, and these are perfectly, I'm not good at trimming straight strips of paper, so this is perfect for that also. So let's line up a few so you can create a nice little border or background, like so. If you wanted to, so keep these pieces. Now there's some larger ones, of course, for the larger open areas. And I love these because this is perfect for sentiment stamping. For my card today, I'm going to be using the Spellbinders Mini Christmas Greetings. And it comes with a die, but when the strips are already cut for you, even with an angled end, actually one of the ends have a sharper angle than the other. So this is a slight angle, and if you were to flip it around, you can see the sharper angle. So that's nice too. You can stamp your sentiment right on here. That's what we're going to do with these extra strips. So that's extra too, so you can keep these pieces. I'm going to put these, when I create my storage pouch, I'm going to put these in the back of them. Now, what we're going to do today, so we have both of our candy stripes. To create the plaid, it's very easy. You take one and you would flip it around like so, and then you would just layer them together like this. And it creates a beautiful plaid, two-tone plaid. And that's what we're going to do. I'm going to start by taking a little bit of glue on my Barely Peach, and I'm going to glue the right side up piece. And there is a little bit of a border, which makes it nice for going around the ends. We're just going to add some glue. I'm not going to go over all the strips, just a few of them. Because if you go around the ends, It's not going to go nowhere. So let's add this to our card base. I'm going to use an acrylic block to hold that down and let that adhere. I'm going to clean off my surface. And while that's adhering, I'm going to take my glacier cardstock. I'm going to flip, this is right side up now. I'm going to flip this around and we're going to add some glue around this. Okay, I went ahead and put some glue. I'm going to remove my acrylic block and then we'll flip this around. And I'm going to add this right over the top. And I'm going to use my acrylic block to weigh this down, and I'll clean off the glue here. And isn't that beautiful? I love plaid, but I love the texture that this creates. I just think it's so pretty. So that is our background. We have dimension and texture, and those are everything that I love. Now we need some elements for a Christmas card, and I'm going to bring in a few die sets here. We'll put this off to the side. And I'm going to bring in some same colored cardstock. So I have, again, Glacier and Barely Peach. And we are going to create some flowers from the Spellbinders Holiday Blooms die set. I've been loving this for my holiday cards. Now I want a couple flowers, and I'm going to die cut these out. These are poinsettias. They're layerable. I'm going to cut a couple out with my Barely Peach. And then we're going to do something different with our pine needles. I'm going to die cut out my pine needles with my Glacier cardstock. And then with white cardstock, I'm going to take the holly leaf and I'm going to die cut out some holly leaves with white. And then using one of my Spellbinders essential circle dies. This is the second largest. I'm not going to use the dotted detail. I'm just going to use the circle. So the second largest. I'm going to do 3 of the holly leaves, 2 sets of the flowers, and then I'll die cut out 3 of my pine needles. When I'm done with this, I will be right back. So here are all of my die cuts. You can see how soft it's going to be. Let's go ahead and layer our poinsettia flower together. And I am going to use a small foam square. There is a flower center in our die set, but I'm not going to use it today. I'm going to use some gems. I love using gems for some sparkle. We'll just put a small foam square in the center, and then our flowers are all done. And I'm going to rearrange this one a little bit if it's not down there too good. There we go. So our flowers are done now, and then our pine needles. I'm keeping our holly leaves white. We're going to go for a real soft Christmas card with non-traditional colors. Now with my circle, I wanted to add a little texture behind here. And usually if there's stripes, I do like circles. So to add some circles to my panel, I'm going to bring in the Spellbinders 3D embossing folder. This one is called Puff Dotty, which always cracks me up when I say that. I'm going to run this through, making sure it's right side up. And then we're going to do a little bit of embossing with this. And then while we're at it, I'm going to be using a circle die from my hem stitch circles. This is different sized circles versus the color, the essential circles. I'm going to die cut out a larger circle to give me a frame around our emboss circle. And I'm going to be using a sheet of my Spellbinders vellum. And I'm going to die cut out a vellum circle that's slightly larger. So I will be right back. Now we have our Puff Dotty circle. That one's kind of neat. kind of neat. Either or, if it goes concave or if it goes regular emboss, I think it would be neat. But I'm going to go ahead and adhere this to my vellum, and we're going to go ahead and center that. And I'm going to use my tape runner. The Spellbinders vellum is a little bit on the lighter weight side, so if I use glue, sometimes it warps. This is going to go centered, like so. And then after we have this centered, I'm going to trim off a little bit. This is going to go offset on my card base. I like doing this with my circles. So using my paper trimmer, we're going to trim off a straight edge. So let's just trim. Now I did mention that I'm going to stamp my sentiment on the leftover pieces or the leftover strips, and I'm going to use the less pointed edge of the strips. And again, this is the Mini Christmas Greetings stamp and die set. It's a combination, so the strip die will come with it. The strip die that comes with it creates a thinner strip, but I'm not going to worry about that because we already have some. Now I'm going to bring in my stamping positioner, honestly, because I don't trust myself with these strips, and I'm going to trim a little bit off the edge here, just so it fits in my stamping positioner. We're going to end up stamping our sentiment, 2 sentiments. We're going to go delivering warm hugs. This is going to go on our Barely Peach. Okay, and then I'm going to be stamping Merry Christmas. So we have our sentiments. We have our background that's with our candy stripes, and now we can create our pretty card. I do like a little dimension, but with all the textures and layers, I'm not going to add no foam adhesive to this circle. We're just going to add some tape, which is kind of a shock for me. And I'm going to line my vellum all the way to the right, and I am going to lower it a little bit. And then after we have our circle panel adhered, we're going to add our poinsettias. To do this, I'm going to use glue, and I'm just going to glue in the center because this way I can do some tucking. Add some tape behind our sentiment. We'll tack this down. And now we get to do a little tucking. I'll probably trim away some of the bottom of my pine needles just so it can tuck a little bit better. I'm going to add some glue. And when I have pine needles or leaves, I don't usually glue the top of them. Now our holly leaves, I am going to flip these around, and just leaving these white really does add a lot of softness to our card. I am going to put some small foam squares behind here. We're going to add a little bit of dimension with these. I think that looks really pretty. I think my sentiment's a little crooked. And last but not least, we need some gems, some sparkle for our card. I'm going to be using my red Color Essential gems, and we're going to add, I don't know if you can tell, but in the middle of my flowers you can see the small foam square. And if I add a cluster, I think I can cover up that foam square. So I'm going to add 3 of the smaller ones, and then we'll add 3 of the minis. And so we have a little bit of shimmer on our card, and I'm going to just do the flower centers with the red. I think that's really pretty. And then that will finish my card today. I thank you so much for joining me. If you haven't had a chance to check out the Joyful Christmas release, again, that link will be down below. But have a wonderful day. Thanks for stopping by. We will see you soon. Bye.